On the United Podcast Network, you are paying attention. And once again, here's your host, the Tom Duggan.
She is so fucking beautiful.
You're on, Tom.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm gonna marry her someday. Tom Duggan here on the Paying Attention podcast. No, please, no, stop, no. Paul Morano, my co-host. I want to thank Phil the Future for coming in. I wanted to talk to him a little bit about town meeting. I think it's good to educate people. There's a lot of people who live in New Hampshire here. We're in Salem, New Hampshire, at Two Guys Smoke Shop, Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. And there's a lot of people in New Hampshire. Most towns in New Hampshire are towns, and they have this form of government, this town meeting form of government. But most people don't know what town meeting form of government is. And I wanted him to talk about, a lot of things, but I really wanted to get out educating people about what town meeting and town meeting form of governments are, because it is the purest form of democracy. He's not on still.
Yeah, it seems. They've been around for forever, right? Since the beginning of the country.
Since before the beginning of the country.
Yeah, so
300 and something years.
It should really be. I know that a lot of people don't know about it, but they should by now,
right? So and he's on the ballot. He's running for re-election. What's funny is, and you'll remember this, Phil and I started off not on the same side of anything.
Yeah.
Phil ran against my girl Diana DeZoglio for state rep.
Okay.
And she kicked his ass all over the district. It was hysterical. But after the election, and it was a very contentious election. It was very contentious when he ran against Diana. But when the election was over, he manned up.
Yeah. And
he went to Diana. He went to her headquarters and said, "I want to help you. You're the nominee now. I want to help you win." He ran against her in a primary. And he manned the office, and he stuffed envelopes. No job was too small for this kid. He was making phone calls. He was knocking doors with her. He was putting flyers on cars. And he wanted to be the nominee. He wanted to be the guy that was there. Most people, when they lose, they don't do that because it's personally hurtful. They see themselves helping someone that should be them. And Phil put his personal pride aside. And that's very difficult for any politician to do. And he helped Diana get elected. And he worked his ass off. He really worked hard. He worked as hard, if not harder, than anybody else that worked on their campaign. And I gained a new respect for him. I mean, I had always kind of respected him, even though we disagreed on stuff. But I gained a real respect for him as an individual, as a human being, because he really does care more about the town than he cares about his own political career. And shortly after that election, he ran for selectman, and he won. And I'm glad that he won, because he seems like the only voice of reason sometimes on that panel. So that's why we wanted to have. Was that Phil the Future?
Was that election close with Diana?
No, not really.
No. Okay.
No, I think she slaughtered him. Phil, was that a close election? He's still here. He's lingering. You want to see what we say about him?
He's halfway down.
That wasn't a close election, right? She slaughtered you, right? It wasn't even close.
It was I got 5 precincts. You got 7 precincts.
Yeah, 7 to 5 isn't a slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notice he gave you precincts and not votes.
Well,
if you counted up the votes, it was a lot more. All right, very good. You know what's weird doing this show and not giving out a phone number?
Why don't we?
For like 30 years, I did radio, and I always gave out a phone number.
We can give out a false phone number.
Would you be okay if we retooled this show to take calls?
Would I be okay?
Yeah. Well, you're my co-host. I want to make sure you're okay with what decisions I'm going to make.
Why not? I love phone calls.
How about Skype calls? Someone wants to call in on Skype, we can actually pull them up over here so the people at home can see what they look like.
Like a real news show. Yeah, why not?
Right? So you're okay with that?
Of course.
So maybe next week we'll start putting that in the works. We had a bunch of stuff that we were going to talk about in the first hour. Some of it we didn't get to. I know you had a couple things on your list. What didn't we get to? We've got 10 minutes. We got 8 minutes left, Paul.
What didn't we get to?
It's only 5 minutes.
Well, 5 minutes left. Do you want to go back to the Me Too hysteria bullshit?
Too bad there isn't a microphone right here.
Do you have a microphone for us?
That's another thing we should do. A microphone for the audience.
Well, I'll tell you. You asked a question, and then I'll ask it to the microphone so everybody can hear you.
Oh. Something that was basically explaining why this shit is happening. It goes back to Michael Moore. He came out with a DVD years ago. In Canada, they do not even lock their doors. The crime rate is virtually nil.
Nobody can hear you, though. So, people at home are just kidding.
No, Tom, take an available headset and...
Yeah, I have a good idea.
All right.
We'll bring it up.
A little audio producing. You guys don't mind, do you?
Okay, so this is what you do. Talk right into that microphone. Yeah, you have to get closer. There you go. and put that right next to your mouth, and then ask your
We'll
question.
have a mic for the audience for the next show.
Yeah,
Okay, so I guess I missed this topic a little
Pull us
bit
in real
back.
close.
yeah, nice and close. There you go.
Go
There
for
you
it.
go.
So it's just something I want to share an opinion
4 minutes,
going
Tom.
on with the shootings that are happening one after another.
Right.
So about 10 years back, Michael Moore came out with a DVD called Bowling for Columbine. And what he basically proved at the end of the DVD is that the shootings were continuing because we're constantly putting the intention on it by putting it on the air and putting focus on it. So what these shootings are doing, what the next person's doing, is they're copycating it. They're giving them the next idea to continue doing it. So again, in Canada, what he proved, they don't even put, their crime rate is basically nil. And reason being is they do not put the negative things that happen in their country on the air. For basically the news that is happening every night at 6 o'clock, it's being broadcast as entertainment.
Right. I agree with
Things
that.
that are happening. So news sells, so this is why it continues. So they are getting together with Trump now, trying to come up with an idea, what we can do. And they don't realize that the
3
whole
minutes.
problem is because you're putting it on the air and you're giving attention to this.
So if
The
nobody
next
knew
guy-
about it, it wouldn't happen as much. Is that
So
what
the
you're saying?
next guy that's not mentally well balanced
Right.
sees that.
Say,
thinks
hey,
it's
this
good
is a way
idea.
to this is a way to get my name in the paper.
What they're
Yeah.
trying to do is get some attention on them, and even if they die with that intention, they're getting some focus.
Well, what do you think? Do you think the
We've got,
media
thank you very
is a? Do you think,
Thanks.
Tom? Just to refocus this question, do you think the media is complicit
Of course they are.
in this whole movement?
Not only are
school
they
shootings.
not only are they complicit by what the gentleman said as far as hyping all of these things,
Yeah.
but to then immediately, before the blood is even dried, immediately making it a political thing. They immediately they right out of the gate take away any possibility of a sane discussion on maybe what we could do to help these situations, to respond better to these situations, and they gin it up and make it a political issue, which makes sure it's never going to go away, which makes sure that it's going to continue to be talked about. It's always going to be what I call the CNN narrative to disarm the American people.
Now that's all true, but how far back and how far do we go with this? In other words, should we know JFK's assassin's name, or Robert Kennedy's, or Martin Luther King's? It seems like these names are everybody knows them for generations, and for maybe centuries.
No, because you know what? We know the names of the people who murder cops. Yeah. We don't know the cops. People don't remember the names of the cops that were murdered.
Right, exactly.
And we need to stop glorifying these people. And CNN does it, MSNBC does it, even Fox News does it.
All news does.
Stop glorifying these people. That's a great idea. Let's do what Canada does. Show it when it's happening. Have an interview with the kids or the sheriff, whoever law enforcement is, and then move on to another story. And
don't show the face.
That's a good point.
Don't show the face, and don't say the name of the criminal.
Right. Because you know that these people, and I know we've got a minute left, these people who do these mass shootings or commit really heinous crimes, they're usually, you find out that they were researching somebody else that did that. They've got videotapes of someone else that did it. There was, I think, the Aurora shooter. I can't remember his name, which is good. Studied Columbine and how the reaction to Columbine before he went and did what he did, so he would have a better idea as to how police would respond when he did what he did.
If people are so influenced, maybe news should make a concerted effort to run good stories of people doing charitable work,
not going to do that.
Generous work.
They're only going to do that if they're a liberal Democrat and they're making somebody that disagrees with their politics look evil. Other than that, they're not going to do that.
Well,
every other week is propelling it.
Yeah.
It's making it move faster.
Right. Our audience member says by doing it every week and keep doing it, you keep perpetuating it over and over and over. And I agree with that, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, how long is this story going to last?
Right.
I mean, underneath the media, lots should be happening.
Right. Final thoughts,
But why
Paul?
why the media? Final thoughts. It was incredible to have a 77-degree day in southern New Hampshire yesterday. Unbelievable in the middle of February. So I'm very grateful for that.
I wasn't happy about it, but I'm glad everybody else was.
Now that it's back in the 30s or 40s, I think we're back to reality.
All right, let's start the song for the end of the show. Do you have that paying attention song that I gave you? All right. This will do.
Well, this will do.
I guess. Yeah, we're going to have to work on that. All right, listen, we have a charity bash March 23rd at the Firefighters Relief Inn in Lawrence. If you'd like to sponsor a scholarship for a kid at Lawrence High School, if you'd like to donate a raffle item, it goes to the veterans. If you'd like tickets, you can get them on Eventbrite. You can always email me at valleypatriot@aol.com. Thank you, Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. Our buddy Dave Garofalo, the owner of Two Guys Smoke Shop. Come down, have a couple of cigars. I want to thank Joe Zingalis at Team Zingalis Century 21 in Methuen on Pleasant Street. Twin Light Security and Investigations. A&B Auto with Angelo at A&B Auto South Broadway in Lawrence. And who did I forget? EIS Security and Investigations. Thank you, Joe Solomon. Thank you, all the advertisers and sponsors. We need more sponsors. It's like $50 a week. We'll promote the crap out of you. Trust me. Give us a call. Shoot us an email. Thank you, Paul, for coming. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Phil of the future. And, of course, Stu Fink, our fine producer.